lot about, how you're feeling and everything. Do you feel just in general this has been the best, all in all, like holistically, headspace, everything you've been, maybe in your career?
For the most part, yeah. I think it's one of my better years as far as, mentally and physically. So I can't complain. Take it as a blessing and try to make the most out of it.
Just what about the challenge of trying to sack Josh Allen and, everyone says like Derrick Henry or a fullback, like it's never in comparison.
Yeah, I mean the guy's unbelievable. What he can do at the quarterback position and with the ball in general. There's no one like him, so it'll be a fun matchup. He's reigning MVP for a reason, so we'll have to stop him. We'll have to stop that running game, and we'll have to try and make him one-dimensional, but that's a hell of a dimension to have.
I know you want the sack record becoming a win, but would it mean something special to do it against a guy like Allen who's an MVP?
Absolutely. I mean, he's a gunslinger himself, so he's the kind of guy that I guess you would say Mike got those years ago. So I think it's a bit of a funny comparison because those guys have the similar styles, and me and Mike have been compared before. But yeah, it would mean a lot to get against him because he's very special, and I have a lot of admiration for what he can do with the football.
There's no agreement that he's going to lay down for you, right?
Not quite.
Is there any extra juice chasing it at home?
Yeah, I want to get in front of the home fans. Most of all, I want to get the win. I don't want it to be some emotional conflict between me getting it and we're getting our tails whooped or we're down at the end of the game. So I want to be able to sharing a joyous moment for everybody.
That being said, Kevin said that you're still putting the team how hard has that been throughout the end of the season knowing you guys are out of playoff to kind of compartmentalize and do that?
Not hard at all. I mean, I selfishly want to win, and I think everyone should be selfish in that matter. And I think when everyone has that mindset, it becomes a team goal. So I want us all to share in that together.
Myles, you mentioned it a few times the TFL record as well. As much as we've asked you about the sack record, that's sort of at the forefront of everyone's mind. How much is that also something that you're thinking about with a couple games ago?
I'll probably think about that one a little bit more because I'm further away, and they're a little bit harder to get. You can't get any halves. You can't be late. You can get a sack with no gain. You can't get a TFL with no gain. So they're a little bit difficult in their own right to get, and but they also are just very beneficial to the defense and what we're trying to do to win games. So I want to be able to just make negative plays happen for the defense.
Myles, thinking about the last few years of you playing in Jim's defense, like what has it been like to play for him? And I mean, guys keep talking about how motivated he keeps everyone, even if the wins and losses aren't where you want them, and everything.
Wins and losses aren't where we want them for sure, and it's tough. I wish we could figure it all out a little bit sooner, but to play for Jim has been an honor and a privilege. He's a great coach. He's been a great man of character and a great leader, and so I just appreciate the fact that I've been able to be coached by him. He's helped elevate my game and take it to the heights we see now.
Myles, we talked to Mike Bloomgren today, and he was praising Joel Bitonio for his leadership. And obviously, you've been around Joel since you came in the league. I mean, I guess what can you say about Joel and what it's been like being a teammate of his and what he's brought to just this entire life?
He's a rock that everybody leans on. He's just steady and consistent. He's always the same. Love seeing that big old smile on him. But every time he's in the game, you never see him put his head down. You always see him, just attack every day like he attacks, defensive players. He's that steady, consistent, character in the locker room. And anytime he goes out there, you just feel a little bit more comfortable.
Do you remember that training camp when you had to kind of kick out to left tackle and you were going against him?
I do. And sure, I remember for the first 2 days, I thought it was so awkward going against them because it was just a completely different set. And y'all talking, saying I was looking bad, and I was like, damn, I am looking bad. And then I figured it out, and I started feeling better. I was like, I started to realize, like, man, there are different sets. There's people, do different things, and like, that helped, elevate, how much I had to study and grow as a player. And I appreciate, him, giving me a bit of a wake-up call and helping me learn.
Kevin was talking earlier today about the degree of difficulty of what you're doing. You're seeing fewer pass rush opportunities, yet you're still chasing this record. How much pride do you take in that part of it?
I mean, you can only make the most of the opportunities that you get. I'm not asking for more. Hopefully, I don't get any less. But just going out there and playing the game I can play. I can't complain that I'm getting less opportunities than other guys. You just gotta go out there and make plays. If you want to see more, then you gotta earn more.
You've been pretty vocal about your goals throughout your career, except for when we start talking about greatest ever. You seem to have a different approach to that. You've said in the past, I think, like, you have too much respect for the guys who've come before you. Where does that mindset come from for you?
They paved the way. I'm standing on the shoulders of the Giants. I wouldn't be the player that I am, without the shoe. As far as the Von Millers, go as far back as Deacon, LT, Reggie, DT, all those guys and many more. Grew up watching them and taking things from them, and you can't compare our game to them. It's dramatically different, and so the rules and the things that we're allowed to do and that we're privy to now. They just didn't have the access to that, and it goes both ways. So comparing generations and decades is fun. And it's a cool discussion to have, but just being able to play dominant football, that's all I want to do. I want to be the best of my generation because I can only speak for this generation of players and what we were able to go through and who we're able to challenge and beat. At the end of the day, everything else is just hearsay and conjecture.
We'll take two more.
How much will it mean to you to also set this record, fans in Cleveland, as opposed to if you had been somewhere else where you spent all this time here? Does it make it that much more meaningful that Cleveland fans have supported you all this time will be able to celebrate this with you?
Isn't that the same question? Just what?
It's more like what it means to be with one team your whole career.
Okay.
Right, okay? Is that what you're saying there?
My question was, you were almost not here.
Okay.
You were almost not here, and you're here
Yeah.
in Cleveland.
I am here, and I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to play in front of these fans who supported me through everything, the seasons up and down, and just all the things I've gone on with my career and the Browns team in general for my last 9 years. For them to still turn out and still support me and still want to be a part of this ride in general is special to me, and I'm hoping they still turn out and have energy and love for us as they always do.
And have you felt love, from these fans all season long? I know it's obviously from some of them, but it seems like they're completely on board.
It's a tough season for everybody, so they got to get in line on that one. But it is nice to see them still turn out. I've been there for years where I wanted to see more, and then I've also been here for a couple of years in which the place was completely packed, and I was just ecstatic to be a part of an environment like that, and I want to continue to make them proud, however I can and we can, and keep on putting butts in seats and putting smiles on faces.
Appreciate it.
Oh, you got one, Scott?
Yeah, just during the game last week, I think they mentioned that you had surgery in the offseason to get the plates out of your feet when you're younger.
Mm-hmm.
Just how much better does that feel, and what went into, was it a long recovery process?
I wouldn't say it was too long. It wasn't like it was like the recovery of like a major injury, but it was long enough for me. You know, I couldn't get back to the Myles that we see now for a couple months. So that was tough to deal with, and I don't like to sit still. So getting me in one place and having to do all this rehab was difficult enough, but I knew it was just part of the process. But being able to stand, to walk around, to do anything without pain, I'll take that any day. So
you feel it makes a big difference?
Absolutely. I mean, it was like 3 games of the season last year where I was debating whether I was going to be playing in games after that. So it's a blessing to be where I am now, feeling as good as I am at this point in the season.
Thank you.
Thanks, Myles.
Head down, so then I was like, oh, I'm amazed.
Good, you.
Do you have to approach any different? Like, it's quarterback, it's big, it's Josh Allen, right? When you're rushing a guy like that, whether he's scrambling or just in the pocket, having to try to take down a guy that big.
Yeah, we've kind of just been teaching the philosophy of, tackle him like he's Derrick Henry, so kind of been going in with that mindset, yeah.
Kevin was talking earlier today about the degree of difficulty behind what Myles is trying to do is get less pass rush opportunities than a lot of the guys he's even chasing.
Mm-hmm.
How does playing from behind make it harder to get a sack?
Yeah, I feel like it makes it a little harder. It's not ideal for pass rushing, but we're doing the best we can to get back there on the opportunities we get. Yeah.
And how does that maybe add to the greatness of what he's doing, the fact that he's making the most out of fewer opportunities?
Yeah, I feel like when you look around the league, a lot of these other teams that lead the league or have a bunch of sacks, that they have a lot more pass opportunities, but we kind of just play the cards we're dealt.
Mason, you mentioned Derrick Henry. Jim's mentioned Derrick. As a comparison for Josh. So, what was it like tackling Derrick Henry? Now that you've had that opportunity a couple of times, and if that's the comp for trying to tackle.
I feel like just the philosophy is no arm tackles. When he's scrambling, tackle him like running back. Don't fall for his pump fakes. He's just gonna pump fake. Just take his thigh board. So just that kind of mindset. I wouldn't say, we all want to bring him down, just by the one guy, but sometimes it might take 1 or 2, 3.
Mason, you're obviously playing through that rib. Carson's playing through that ankle. I mean, why is it so important for you guys to be out there these last few weeks?
I just love playing the game. I can't speak for anyone else, but I love playing the game, and if I'm good enough, whatever percentage that may be, to play, then I'm going to play.
Is that something where you can't re-injure it anymore by playing? Is that the case? That there's nothing that can make it worse? Or are you taking a little bit of a...
It's a little bit of there's always a little bit of a risk, but the doctor said that I'm clear enough to play, so it was kind of up to me, and I just wanted to play.
You're on the field with these quarterbacks and these players that you've watched coming up. What's that like? Obviously you have you don't believe you belong out there, but at the same time, going against guys you watched growing up, as a rookie, what's that transition like to going from watching them to playing against them?
It's cool, it's kind of like a dream come true. You always watch these guys. Kind of the first moment I realized is, one of my first days here, I came in, I got in the sauna, and I walked in, Joe Flacco sitting next to me. I said, I used to watch this guy on the Ravens winning Super Bowls, throwing a bunch of touchdown passes, but I'm just sitting next to him, having a casual conversation with him. So it's kind of cool, just as a little kid, and then playing now with all of the great players.
What do you see when you look at the run defense the last couple of weeks? I feel like it hasn't been up to the team standard.
Yeah, I feel like we just need to execute better. I feel like it's usually, it only takes one guy for them to break a little bit of a run. So I feel like it just has to be all 11 on the same page, not just 10 or 9 one play.
So are you guys expecting a little steak dinner from Myles or anything like that when he gets this record, or is there going to be some kind of a celebration?
I don't know. He gave us a little hint about he was going to do something, but who knows what that entails.
It's been a little bit of tough sledding just for you guys' running game in general over the past 2 weeks, but do you feel like this is a game where you guys can really kind of try to push the ball?
Yeah. Yeah, we would hope so. I say that's what you're determined to do each and every week. That's what you prepare for, mindset, and just envisioning you and your teammates just going out there and getting the job done.
Seems like game flow has sort of prevented you guys from getting you involved in the running games, going early on in games. How important would it be to be able to sort of get that established, get off to a good start so that you guys can maybe start, running the ball a little bit more and getting you involved a little more?
What do you mean, like, as far as what?
Well, you guys fell 14-0, down 14-0 in Chicago. Mm-hmm. Kevin mentioned that, that sort of, you start throwing the ball more and game situations.
I think because you start off like behind the sticks, it kind of puts you at a bad spot as well, as far as taking advantage of where you're at on the field. That hurts you in that sort of way, yeah.
But how important, how good would it be for you guys to be able to do that this week?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think it'll help a lot, yeah, just because that helps us be in better field position, be able to drive the ball downfield, be able to execute in the run game, and be able to just tempo it out.
You talked a lot about Joel, and he's the locker mate, right next to you.
Yeah.
What has he meant to you, this beyond just on the field blocking for you, but just day to day? What's he meant to you?
Joel's awesome. Ever since the first day I got here, he was one of the guys that I just gelled to naturally. I feel like as a rookie, you more so try to find that guy in the locker room that you relate to and show you to do things the right way. And Joel was that guy for me, just by his attitude and intentionality every day, things that he took into detail, and just the way he shows you how to do the right things. But me and him are really close. He's a guy I look up to. I went to his give back event maybe 2 weeks ago, so. He's a really good vet. And he's we all know he's good on the field at what he does, but aside from that, he's a great guy.
With the running back room being thin to this point of year, losing Dylan, losing Jerome, how do you expect kind of the guys behind you and just kind of step up?
This is the NFL, so I feel like this is where the best of the best are. So I think those guys will take advantage of their opportunities for sure.
Going back to being locked next to Joel and everything you've learned, how important is that for a young guy like you to take advantage of like that downtime and just all those moments?
Yeah, bro, it's super important just because when you're in the NFL as a rookie, this is your first experience for every single thing. You don't know what to expect in a lot of situations. So having that guy there that's a vet that can show you the ropes and, have a person there that can help you foreshadow and see what to expect, it helps a lot in a lot of situations.
I mean, he's like I think he's at least 10 years older than you. How's he able to
I was like in middle school.
How's he able to relate to the young guys?
As far as, he's a guy, so it's a lot that we can relate to, but I don't have kids. I can't talk about, dropping them off at school, a lot of stuff like that. So, yeah.
But you guys can keep him young.
Yeah, true.
How close are you watching this weekend, Miami, Texas A&M?
I don't really watch college football right now. I think Ohio State will take it all the way, so those are really the only games I watch. So, yeah.
How much are you hoping that Dylan Sampson can get back soon from the hand injury and really kind of starting to come around and get in some ways?
I see him each and every day. He's in the room with us. I think he's taking it day by day with his injury. He's trying to be back on the field. He's been very supportive, throughout each and every practice, each game. So I want him to come back and, hope he recovers well.
And how much are you looking forward in the future too? For you guys to just get that 1-2 punch and it really started to seem like you guys were figuring out how to really maximize both.
I think for myself, just maximizing the most of our opportunities throughout each situation in the game, I feel like. And more so, just having each other's back on the field and, just keep playing throughout the game.
What about Rocket? I mean, you guys, remember when you guys were in college,
right?
Your freshman year, you guys were competing for the SEC rushing title. Just what's it been like to have been? What's he been like, and how have you kind of helped him? You two helped each other kind of grow through this.
Rocket's a guy that I'm familiar with. We're familiar. We played each other before I was at Ohio State at Ole Miss. My freshman year, I got to play him at Arkansas. They ended up winning that game, but I think both of us had like 200 rushing, so he ended up reaching out to me after the game, and we developed a relationship ever since. But just to see him be here, and I didn't expect him to be in Cleveland, but to see him, show up here and how he works, and, I'm excited to see what he does too.
Mike Bloomberg kind of talked about just how it's been a difficult season for him as a coach because there's so much change in the offense. Understanding, injuries happen to the NFL. From your perspective, like how difficult is that as a running back when there's a lot of change, and what are the conversations like for you with that entire group, just kind of figuring out like nuances of their game and how you sort of are attacking things and trying to put your best foot forward as you guys do?
Yeah, I think like it's very frustrating. I would say not only because the losing, obviously, but I feel like for myself, I never was in a situation or was in a position where I've lost this much, or like I come from different cultures to where like we don't lose a lot. So I think just having to handle that in itself is a lot. But like I said, we got great guys in our locker room, like great vets that help you, how you handle that stuff and how you react to it. We have guys that like in our locker room help us. But I think as far as my coaches and putting us in the best positions, they do their best. I believe in our coaches. I believe in the guys up front for me. So at the end of the day, just trying to go out there and do my job, bro. Like I said, it's very frustrating though, for sure. But just trying to control what I can.
Still keep an eye on Ole Miss in the playoff?
No, I don't. Personally, no, I haven't. I have a couple guys though that I know that still go there, so wish them the best. Sure.
I know the Bills are tied for fourth in forced fumbles, and of course their offense is, has Josh Allen and all these great players. But just how important is, ball security, knowing that y'all need to, maximize possessions with that offense on the other end of things?
Super important because, different weather conditions, raining, snowing, feels wet, so they have a lot of takeaways, and, that's something that we're going to harp in our game plan, trying to go out there and protect the ball, as well as the quarterback, too. So,
When you see a quarterback who runs the way that Josh Allen does. Is it remarkable to watch the way he operates?
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of Jackson Dart, one of my old teammates I played with at Ole Miss. His mentality when running the ball, something that I take heed to at my position. So I like the way he plays. Cool. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Quinshon.